life about making things easy? Is easy right? If it goes easily, does it mean it's the right thing that we're supposed to do or not? How do we embrace these challenges, living on the edge, right? So that we get to see the vistas and the views that we're really meant to see in life. You got to walk up to the edge. What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, excellent conversation, gentlemen. Thanks so much. I really love your concept of adventure, using the word adventure, Levi. You know, many years ago, I heard a story about a man that was lying on his deathbed, and the people around him were gathered, and as he lay there, they were recounting the tales of his adventures, and they went on and on and on about said adventures that he had in his life. And actually, that struck me as being very important, is that you wanted to have stories to tell at the end of the day. You wanted to have impact, because the theory goes you only live once on this planet, right? So make the most of it. Yeah, that's my comment.
So I guess the overall question is it easy? What is it that you feel, Levi, is the how do I word this? Knowing what we want, defining where we're going, creating priorities, and or simply put, creating a map, a massive action plan. How important do you feel that is to be able to write your best story?
Right. And so I by no means profess to follow my own principles successfully all the time. And if you did, that's all you would think about. You wouldn't be able to live clearly. But I think having a roadmap is really important, because it'll always center you again. And so I obviously have to say that I don't follow my principles all the time, but I work at them and I have them. So my advice, if I could give that to anyone here, is find a few points that you want to really hone in on in your life, that you want. Find what are the gaps, or what do you want to accomplish, or who do you want to be. Find those gaps. And then I always found that if I wrote them down, coming back to my list, being a list person, if I write them down and have a few rather than a broad brush of them, that I'm always lost in a broad brush. But when I narrow them down to a couple of really clear ones that I can articulate and identify and practice all the time, and they're pervasive, they will follow me in business, they'll follow me in interpersonal relationships, they'll follow me in my character, any avenue that I look for in my life that I want to build on, they're pervasive. So building on a few principles, and then you can perhaps add them, make them your own, or find them from someone else, or you're saying, well, I like those, I can follow those, Levi. Make your own that are unique to you, and then work them. Because I think having a few of them, and then maybe adding a couple of them to you, and then thinking about them often will enormously impact your life. Because too many people are lost in the forest. They just don't know what they really stand for, or what they really want to work at. And when you can focus in on a few like that are really critical to who you want to be and to your journey, I think that's good advice. I wish someone had told me that when I was young, because I would have practiced them a lot earlier.
Wow. I'm just writing away here like crazy. There's so much gold here. Bob, what hits me with what he just said is that really defining and creating a clear map with simple and clear focused points that we want to strive for, because life is about striving. I am not always living by the rituals that I want to live by. Levi, as I just shared, he doesn't always consistently follow his 5 principles. We're all human. We all stumble. We all fall. And I love how Les Brown always says it. It's not if you fall down on your back so you can get up quick. Or another statement is if you fall down 7 times, you just got to get up 8. Our life is about persevering and really trying to create that story that we want to live. How do we define that ideal form of life so that we can strive for it? It's better to aim at the stars and hit the barn than aim at the barn and hit the pig pen in simple. What are your thoughts, Bob?
I like Levi's comment about lots of people are lost in the forest, and it's really hard to build a map and to figure out your purpose and figure out your principles when you're lost in the forest. And an analogy I'd have, when I was a younger man, I used to climb, be a mountaineer, and I've done over 30 peaks in British Columbia, and we go out for several days. And one time we were on top of a peaks. It was, and we were in tents in the middle of winter, and it snowed. Like the track up the hill, it snowed probably 3 feet that night. So when I woke up, my tent was almost covered in snow, and a fog had settled in. And so when I stepped out of the tent and kicked away the snow, I couldn't even tell that I was on top of a mountain. Like there was literally nothing you could see, and the fog just stayed there, and we had to get back the next day. But there were 5 of us, and if I would have been on top of that mountain myself, I would have been lost. I had no idea what to do, where to go. But the 5 of us sat down and talked about all of our different options, talked about how to navigate, what our fallback plans were, et cetera, et cetera. And we found our way down that mountain together. And so the lesson there for me is when you're lost in the forest, you're wondering what to do. There is a way off, there is a way out, but find the good people around you. Get people, reach out and ask, reach out and learn, read stuff. There's a way off the mountaintop. There's a way out of the forest.
Yeah, and I think like I personally don't look at where's my objective so I can arrive at. I look actually at my focus is on the journey, not actually on my destination. By that I mean is that I think successful people that somebody can consider that as a great individual don't do 1 or 2 things that bring them notoriety. I think we good, successful people do lots of little things really well. And I think if we can focus on the journey and doing lots of little things really well that we can all do, because people can go, oh yeah, that person's famous, done that, did 1 or 2 great. But then you read behind the scenes, sometimes they're actually not very good characters. So I think focusing on the journey is actually the objective. The journey, do that well, not because when you arrive at a goal, you actually need another one, otherwise you'll be lost again. So make your journey your focus, and make your other focus doing lots of little things well that you know you can do. Yeah, I'll do the dishes well. I'll make my bed really well. I'll do this really well. I'll compliment someone. I'll be, all those little things are the foundation of greatness. Because I just think like, how would I become a great individual? Yeah.
So Levi, what you're saying is the principles are kind of acted out in small steps. Like it's just a day by day thing. You wake up in the morning and there's your chance for adventure. There's your chance to let something go. There's your chance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? You got a day in front of you. Make it adventurous.
Scott, thank you, gentlemen, for this great discussion. This is a deep discussion on how we're all choosing to write our life story. How do we live an ideal form of life that works for us? And you said a few things that are just so profound that I'm going to try to summarize it, and the uncommon truth about how to write our life story. So, number 1, We are largely shaped by our childhood and family and the people we are in proximity to. It has a huge impact on forming our character, our attitudes, and our mindset. We need to face life head on and to invest in these quality relationships. 2, we have to realize that hardship is a great environment for creating an attitude of together we can. We're not an island unto ourselves. We need to achieve and support our family, our friends. It creates character that makes life easier in the end. And Les Brown always said it, if it's easy at the beginning, it's going to be hard at the end. If it's hard at the beginning, it will be easy at the end. Easy doesn't really mean it's right. Levi then went through his 5 points of life. And these are very, very strong words of wisdom. 1, invest consistently in relationships and your health. Basically, you got to invest and give heavily into relationships with family, friends, and God. Create a strong community, a strong group that you're in proximity to, and have a strong relationship or a faith that there's more to this than just ourselves, that God created you for a magnificent purpose. And be focused on the good things. Focus on creating an alignment between your body, your soul, and your spirit. We're a tripart being. We need to invest in our health, embrace the challenges that are going to grow us through these hard challenges, and have fun in the challenge. Ultimately, we got to create those healthy rituals and persevere. We need to be consistent in our investment in ourselves and others. Point 2, embrace those adversities. This is going to shape and bring you amazing blessings. Stay calm and work on what you're focused on. Ask, what's great about this moment? And don't make decisions in a poor state. Embrace it. The 3rd point was learn to let go. Give yourself 24 hours. Then decide to not carry the baggage, the grudges, or anxiety, regrets that are only going to weigh us all down and prevent us from moving forward freely. We need to find and maybe even do a physical activity that will let it be a trigger to sort things out. It gives you time to go through what you thought about, feel those emotions, let them out, then begin planning what those steps are within that walk or that run, that hike, and have a few basic decisions made when you come out of it on how you're going to move forward. And just start moving forward. Let it go. The 4th point is give. Be generous. Give what you want to get as a minimum level. Be the author of our own happiness. Choose to live and invest in life to make ourselves and others feel fulfilled. This is going to allow us to progress. That mindset that we've talked about, giving is not a loss, but an actual investment into others. And remember to focus on that growing and giving versus getting before we give. And the 5th life principle is allow life to be an adventure. We need to look at life as if we have a scribe running beside us every day, in every moment, and ask ourselves, what I'm saying now, what I'm doing now, is that going to be the story that I want to write on this blank page of my life's book today? Be a yes person. Yes, I'm going to embrace this moment. We get the opportunity to create our ideal form of life. If it's going to be, it's up to me. That led us into another question. And as a summary, we just need to focus on the journey. There's 2 dates on our tombstone: the date we're born and the date we pass. Life is the dash between the 2. What are we going to do with that dash? Really, life is about striving and adjusting And as we strive to do the little things really well, that's what's going to make the difference in the end. How do we find our way through the forest? Because we don't always live up to our own standards. But if we persevere, focus on the priorities, our why, our purpose, and knowing what our destination is, will help us run that race and that dash one day at a time. That's all we have is now. So let's all learn from Levi, his amazing story that he is writing. It's not written, it's writing. We all have choice, and we can change with one simple decision. So let's all strive, and I'm going to commit to strive, to really trying to focus on the dash. I'm so grateful for today. The time with you, Bob. I just want to thank you for journeying through this question of how do we write an amazing life story? How do we create that map, the purpose, and live by principles of performance? So we thank you as well for joining us today. We welcome you to visit us at the website, our www.theuncommontruth.life, and find The Uncommon Truth on YouTube, Facebook, and most podcast apps. Until next time, God bless.